Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Meticulous Talks on November 25th. I am cursedchords. Tonight I am joined by two very special guests, one of whom is about to be commenting on his own games,
Hi, I'm Bugle.
and one of whom is simply along for the ride.
Well, you needed a resident German, and if you go back far enough, I guess that technically counts.
For what it's worth, I know Tom does watch these YouTube videos, so when they go up on YouTube, so I will say good day to him in the future whenever he is watching this content. But yes, today is lower bracket finals time. The second or third last match, depending on how things go. I should also say happy Thanksgiving to both of you.
Happy belated Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Uh,
And to all of our American viewers, I suppose I should say. Preamble done. Any reason not to just get straight to it?
I think we all know what's at stake.
so, there's a little to get into, I think. So we've seen this particular matchup before, and
That's right. This is the first, the first true rematch we've had in the tournament so far.
right, yes, and Tom has come out of this more aware of what decks I'm packing, and more aware of the matchups. So it's entirely possible, hint, it's happening, that he has changed his lineup against me. In hopes
Seems
that
a sound strategic decision.
Yeah, in hopes that maybe the other deck will favor against what was a not particularly great matchup. And I believe we are starting with Adventure, and we start off the bat with Tom going, okay, Beluda didn't work, let's try Yonabar.
Yep. And you, of course, made the same choices as you did before, because...
Yes. I even told you before the match started, I am playing both purple mains. Like I had made my choices and was not going to change them regardless of what happened in these matchups, because I felt they were very strongly favored against anything Tom could do.
For sure. But yeah, as mentioned, Tom had the opportunity to make these strategic adjustments, and he knew what to expect.
For what it's worth, I would definitely agree with his logic here. Bluna is when it is played best, regardless of the variant. Purple, pink, or orange, or yellow, and
Blue.
white, or blue. It's a fast deck, and it is willing to sacrifice more so than many other decks, especially in the colors, in the secondary colors that are not pink, um, interaction and disruption in favor of pure speed, which is fine, except against combo, because you must have one of the fastest hands to be able to stop the combo from being able to get any of their either resource generation online to the point where you can't overcome them, just drawing to find pieces they need, or just find the pieces they need.
Yeah. Combo be fast unless you stop combo somehow. And the Yonabar list, if we want to pull that up, has
let's do that.
A lot more ways of interacting with the combo list than the Bluna Orange list, which was basically Tom and I were both playing solitaire.
Yep. So yeah, he's got the Fit of Peak early if he wants to potentially prevent Celestia from flipping.
Right. Also gets rid of Tranquilities.
Mm-hmm. Yep. A couple of combo buster troublemakers like Starlight Glimmer, and I put Nightmare Moon in there kind of sort of just because this combo does like to hold a lot of things in hand before it goes off.
Sure.
It wants 4 specific pieces. Granny Smith has to be in hand, and you need some form of white. So like reducing the hand size does in fact matter a lot for the combo. It can work around it, but it's not happy about it.
Yeah.
And Glimmer, of course, sometimes Glimmer just hits specific combo pieces, and you're sad.
Exactly so. And then Garble there is also just an amazing friend for farm, but has the discard built in as well.
So Garble is very interesting in that Tom both wants the Garble and does not want the Garble. Because Garble is literally Tom's only friend, and my deck revolves around face-offing against a friend, if Tom has a Garble in play, I can face off against that, preferably frightened, obviously. And if Garble but Garble can also disrupt my hand with the discard and accelerate his game plan and so on. So it's kind of a risk that you have to acknowledge. Like, if I get a Garble, I want a Garble as soon as possible. As
Yeah,
later on, it's more of a liability.
an early Garble is very good. A later one is a liability. Yeah.
Notably, also in this list, that's very relevant against the AT generator Mistbane combo lists is Cornered. Since
Which in most circumstances, okay, as far as and this is being incredibly generous to call it this, as far as board wipes go, this is a board reduction. This is not a board wipe. But
right.
when your deck is built, like Bugle said, around setting up a board to allow you to generate enough resources and have enough synergy to not only be able to afford to play your combo pieces, or even just your, combo cards in that one singular turn, but also to potentially have enough unicorns in play to copy Lunch Break with Magic Instructor, you gotta have a board built up. That's at least bare minimum 5 friends right there. Cornered will reduce that. And you know
Right.
what? If you can spend 1 AT, lose literally nothing besides playing a card on your side, and get rid of 2 friends your opponent controls, this is a pretty good deal.
Yeah, sure. The opponent might choose those friends, so it's their worst quote unquote friends, but it's less than they had.
Bodies are bodies.
Mm-hmm. Unicorns are unicorns, particularly in this combo.
And I think I guess also a potentially relevant card here is the reliving histories, since my primary form of interacting with a farm player is to move their main home, and reliving history says that was cute. I'm gonna go back.
Yep. All right. So that's Tom's list. We've spoken about this combo ad nauseum already in the tournament. Is there anything extra to say about it?
Just that I believe last time I played against Tom, I took out the Luster Dawn, or I don't remember what. There was some time where I took out Luster Dawn, and this time I specifically kept it in as a way to potentially win through my opponent not having friends and me losing bone or something happening, right? Because with enough extra turns, Luster Dawn turns those turns into 2 points apiece instead of 1 point apiece.
Oh, right. It was in the semifinals. I'm checking my notes here to see. Versus Bugle. Yeah. Your sideboard was Luna's Future and the Rarity. Oh, right, because you played against the Luna deck, of course.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It was. There was something. I don't remember. But I remember taking out Luster Dawn and then going, oh, I think that was a mistake. I should have kept the Luster Dawn.
I'm glad we'll never see this thing again in this particular way once Invitationals is done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so like the thing that's gotten me, and I shouldn't, I'm probably going to see a bit more of it in this tournament. as an observer, this deck always seems to hit before I think it's ready. Like I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, it'll be a couple more turns, and then the guy's going off, and it's happening.
See, that's the difference between a combo mind and an observer of combo.
I guess so.
The combo players have to be considering, can I afford to wait anymore? Because if the answer is no, then you go off even if you don't know if you can.
That makes sense. I need to play more combo, I guess, is what
Yeah.
we coming out of this with.
Good news, we will have opportunities for you to do so. They're just not going to involve Magic Instructor anymore. Which in and of itself is good news.
That is good news. All right, shall we get to the main event?
Yeah.
Sure. All right.
Oh.
Okay.
I will be interested
I
to
will
see
go
what the
first.
opening hands are like, as in this case, if I was in Tom's shoes, one of the most important things I would be going for would be to get a Glimmer in play as soon as possible. And hey, look at that, it's a Glimmer.
It's a glimmer.
Oh wait,
There's lots
I
of
know I
glimmers. There's 3 glimmers.
There sure are. But you've got
Yeah,
a
or to keep.
rainbow generator, and you've
Okay, are
got
you both ready to start?
Yep.
a staff
Okay,
that's going to
good
give you
luck
the
to both of
power
you.
that you need to
Gain
be able
2
to
and
likely beat up.
pass.
You've even got another epic there that you don't mind fighting while Glimmer's in play. This is just
Yeah.
like, I don't know what I would have done tremendously differently here. This is great.
What's the name of that double flip card again?
Sorry, Rainbow Laser, not Rainbow Generator. Look, I'm trying to stealth put that in people's heads, as the card has seen almost no play until Kevin ran it in Harmony here.
Ah, okay.
And friendship counter and your turn.
Okay. Yeah. Meanwhile, I kept my hand with only the one event, but 2 AT gens, and I'm like, okay. And now I get a betrayed,
Sauce for an AT.
which I played my friends first, going, oh, now I can't play this betrayed
for an
unless I
AT.
want to be very sad.
Go ahead.
Alright. AT.
I mean, at some point it might still be worth it, right?
Wait.
It might be. I mean, if a garble
Well,
comes
now
down,
I've
then I'm
got
very
it.
happy.
Yeah, I can't really take this back. So
Just going to depend on if one of those is a Pony of Shadows. Now, Glimmer's also kind of a fine line here, right? Because,
let's just move
well, Glimmer will
this
do a good job
here.
of banishing lunch breaks perpetually, and you don't really care what happens to her after that point. If Glimmer ends up hitting a large number of your AT generating friends, it's possible Tom might need to make a move to ensure that Glimmer
Okay.
does not continue to stick around. And if
Yeah.
he's using this Grogar to potentially farm, then Grogar will not be banished, and then Grogar won't have the ability to do the end of turn thing.
Now, Tom is realizing his misplay here. He put both epics to the same problem, so he didn't get to uncover the Glimmer to start disrupting me immediately. He uncovered the Grogar instead.
Play the staff.
And then he plays a staff, which I was
My
silently
main gets
hoping to
+2.
myself,
Attempt
please
to
play a
confront the
staff. I want to play an event.
Right. Oh, and friendship counter and turns over.
Yep.
But yeah, this is a pretty good start for you, Bugle, all things considered.
Gain 2, draw
2
a
AT
card.
gens, AT to work with.
I mean, it's also nice to be able to use that event, like he said, and
We'll banish your staff.
get some value on Trixie, because, well, you could play the Luna's Future outside of it.
And
It's
gain
kind of
2 AT.
weird. You play Luna's Future on your own Starlight after exhausting her, and it effectively becomes a 1 AT, but then it's 0 AT
go
with
ahead.
Trixie, but then you just played an event that does nothing, so...
Ready?
Also, I just threw the bone here, which is like, you don't want to see it terribly early, but then this Glimmer uncovers, and I'm like, oh, well, now I don't need to worry about it
And I pass.
disappearing on me. And Tom finding this Nightmare Moon, I'm also very happy about, as it lets me put this
Glimmer.
Betrayed in my discard pile without actually needing to play it.
Gain 2. And we'll discard Betrayed to hand limit.
Okay.
So you've got
Go ahead.
one of your combo pieces plus
Okay.
redundant entry,
Alright,
plus potentially another combo piece if the Bone 8 ends up
Yeah, this
being
time
needed
I
to be
Right.
used.
Okay.
You got
That
2
said,
AT generators.
I just lost Luster Dawn to Glimmer here, which is pretty big.
Yep.
It's frustrating.
Let's flip again. And I win.
Yep.
Well, it does mean that I have to win without her, right? You know,
So
it
I
removes
get
a
to
line of play.
Or have Starlight
haven't played a
popped.
card so far.
Yeah. True. Yes. Yeah, all those
Alright,
unicorns coming into play with Trixie. My next event will cost probably 1.
Seems like a safe bet.
I'm gonna take control of Starlight at Starlight.
Okay.
Well,
And
that's a
my
bit of a
main gets
bummer.
plus
Right. This
4.
was a fine point of contention. I
I'm
remember
not sure that's true.
not mattering
But
Well, it doesn't
whether
it only
the
needs 2.
surprise
Yeah.
concert
Yes,
triggers
and
off that or
it's
not.
plus 4. Oh wait,
Well-
no, it doesn't. But anyway, it's enough.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
Right.
you learned.
We just learned that this morning. I just realized that. Yes, it
Your
triggers, but
turn.
it doesn't fire.
Okay.
Yes.
Gain.
Correct.
Ready?
Aha.
Draw
Yeah.
card.
See,
Then
look,
I
it's applicable.
I'm gonna pay
then I
1
just top deck a third event
for 20.
and
Get it again.
pretty happy about that.
Good early start. Most important thing with Royal Tutor, regardless of what version you're playing, is get it going quick.
Yeah. I believe one of these is a Luna's Future as well.
That on this hand. This
Okay.
top.
The combo it's coming together.
Counter
Yeah.
on Trixie. Any
Can't afford
Any
not to
effects?
take the
or any responses?
Granny Smith
I
here.
have 0 AT, so no.
Okay, then I will flip Celestia.
Oh,
That
I
is
could-
something you could have stopped with 0 AT. So
Yeah, I know. What's it called? Fit of Peak. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
okay.
Which he had just flipped, admittedly, and the other one was probably in the sideboard, but you
2.
know, I don't know that it's in the sideboard.
We'll pay 1 and draw a card.
Yeah, I draw Luna's Future. Yeah.
We'll pay 2 to banish the Mind Cage.
Yeah, you could have
draw
gone the
Celestia.
disrespectful play of Banish Starlight and let the Mind Cage be in discard pile, but you weren't going to do that.
I think that's actually strictly better, because I would have been able to exhaust Glimmer for AT.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll find a new head mirror.
You never know. Maybe he would retire one of his Garbles to play Mind Cage from the discard pile.
Go ahead.
Fair enough. There goes the other Trixie and a Tranquility.
Ooh, hate to see that one.
Meanwhile, there's a pair of Glimmers over there.
Then
Well, nonetheless, you've got to be sitting here counting Starlights and just seeing how many are left. One of them's gone now, so.
Yeah.
Oh, and Troublemaker.
And there's 3 turns left on Glimmer exploding.
Yep.
Meanwhile, you know, I'm sitting here with 3 AT gens. I'm pretty happy here. I think I forgot to put a counter on Trixie from the Lunar's Future.
Thinking.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I think so. That's right. Yeah.
Don't remember if that gets caught.
Yeah, challenge.
Okay. You win.
Wait, I think we need to flip again.
Oh, you're right. That is a tie.
Just go ahead and flip the whole deck here. That seems fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
You win.
Bonus 2 or wait, you know what?
And this is, of course, the one tricky thing is if you're not going to try to beat combo through interaction, you can just try to beat combo through racing. And while aggro decks can have a bit of a hard time with that just because they often require a bit more ramp and setup time, Yonabari is incredibly efficient at what it does, doesn't need very many cards, and certainly doesn't need that many AT to almost be guaranteed to beat any troublemaker at once.
Yeah.
Not to mention, this particular strategy doesn't involve problems, which combo decks tend to go, my problem is hard, or really helps me. So
Right.
like DFOing isn't
Draw a card.
as reliable or as helpful.
Right.
Second Granny Smith, not particularly great.
No, but the Starlight is nice, so.
Okay, we did catch the
Well-
Trixie. Yeah.
So you're missing.
I mean, that's the full combo.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the full
that's
combo.
it.
It's missing
coming up-
AT.
I was gonna say, yeah, you're coming up on good AT because
well, I
once
guess
you get all those
technically I get
pieces in
AT
play, counting your
first.
color entry and counting the initial play, it's 15 AT from the first Granny Smith to go off. Is that correct? Starting from 0?
16,
16.
because you don't get a discount on the
draw.
first one, effectively.
Right. And you will
Draw
actually
the
need to
maker
play
face,
Rarity here, which adds another 3.
Right. Rarity
Okay.
adds an extra 3. Plus, I need to have
You
a
win.
ready friend to give
2.
Tom. So if I have to give him an AT gen like I would right now, that's effectively an extra AT, sort of.
Then the effect happens.
It is also interesting to think that you cannot donate a frightened friend.
Yeah,
You can't exhaust them,
it's true.
but that's fine. Because I have no stubborn friends, I don't care what friend I give my opponent. It will always have 0 power.
What? Ah, there it is. Well then.
Yeah, that's a pretty good epic for Tom to draw here, since my hand is getting pretty full again.
Mhm.
Admittedly, I have 2 duplicates, but I also have 5 important cards in my
Sure.
hand.
First turn.
Yeah, aside from that opening misplay, Tom's been playing about as efficiently as he
Gain
can.
4, draw a card.
Yep. Tranquility is
Uh,
pretty nice
Go
here.
ahead and pay 1 for Tranquility.
Yeah, even with one of them missing, it's still not bad.
Draw a card.
Read the manual, pretty
Counter
decent.
on my main. And thinking about the Celestia trigger.
Now, Tom does have some methods of interacting with your a board of large friends. I believe he's running It's Gonna Work, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of them in his Spanish pile right now.
So if you are
I
going
think-
to opt to go into blue in order to get the Daybreaker in play, or in order to play the Read the Manual, are you also going to put the Daybreaker in play to avoid having to discard something else to handle it,
we'll
or are
go
you just
ahead
going to
and
just discard the Read the Manual
solve
and just save AT?
Celestia.
Yeah. So the thing is, well, I don't need to discard the Read the Manual yet, right? But searching for a thing, I would, but I would probably just discard the barrel in this particular case. But
Sure.
yeah,
Guess you can also just put a
Fine,
barrel
Trixie.
in play if you need to. So
yeah, but yeah, you don't play Read the Manual in this deck unless you are getting
Then we'll go
some
ahead
other
and pay 1 to
value,
draw.
because
Okay. Pay 1 to
entry is
draw.
expensive, so you want to
one
be
to
putting a
draw.
Daybreaker into play as well, or playing multiple Read the Manuals, or copying a Read the Manual,
Pay 1 to draw.
sure.
or a lunch break.
Pay 1 to draw.
But in that
Something
case,
else.
you have
Pay
some
1
other
to draw.
blue. Now, I am fishing
Pay 1 to draw.
for one of 6 cards,
Pay 1
none
to
of which have been banished.
Wow.
Lunch break or worn out.
Now, out of curiosity, having been at such a high AT total, right? And knowing that,
Okay.
well, I mean, he beat up the Nightmare Moon, so that's no longer relevant. But having been so close, was there a reason you opted not to just save your AT and wait one more turn to
Pay
go off?
1.
Guaranteed.
Yes. If that was Pony of Shadows, I lose the game.
For Trixie.
I don't know what epic that is, but if it's Pony of Shadows, that's 1
My
point.
next effect
Garble
costs
comes into
1
play.
less.
That's another 3 points.
Page 3.
TFO for 15 points.
Fair.
For Magic Instruct.
Yeah, so you needed
next
some
event
form of
now
disruption,
costs 2
something
life.
that.
Right.
Pay 1 for Singing Barrel into blue. Pay 1 for Read the Manual. Gain 5. Exhaust. 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 Gain another 5.
So
Put a counter
this is
on Trixie.
a very expensive, or a very cheap way to draw a lot of cards. Is this read the manual here?
Hey, sometimes you got to do it.
Yeah. But I'm almost back at my starting
Probably
AT total.
just keep
you know.
going at this point. Pay 1 to draw.
I mean, yeah, being able to use Trixie plus
Um,
Starlight with multiple read the manuals is just so good.
Yeah, it's incredible value.
There is a reason Starlight is no longer among us, Rip.
Interesting. Pay 1 to
She
draw.
was the imposter.
Pay 1 to draw.
Yes, Starlight was the imposter the whole time.
So
There's
I
that at
found
least.
the worn out, and I'm thinking, okay, do I just worn out here and discard a million cards? That sounds bad. And I decide,
Pay 1 to
nah,
draw.
let's
There
find a
we
lunch
go,
break.
finally.
And there it is.
Yeah, that
10th
was
card from the bottom.
bottom 10 cards, yeah.
Better late than never.
Okay.
Well, it's not late yet.
1,
I
2,
can afford to
3
play it.
for Daybreaker. Let's see if I play this. I go down to 2. That's reduced.
You will
by
still have to
1.
discard a tremendous number of cards, but hey,
Exhaust.
you'll have
3.
stuff
Yeah,
in
okay.
play.
Pay 3.
Yeah.
For Glimmer, my next event is reduced by 1. Exhaust for an action token. Pay 3 for lunch break.
And it begins.
Counter on.
And it begins, yes. Though I do have to discard a fair number of cards here.
Not believe I had to go that far to find a lunch break.
Thankfully, you have choices.
Yeah.
I will end my turn and have to discard a whole bunch of cards.
I mean, like you mentioned, right? Apart from
Indeed.
the early misplay
Let's
with the
see.
placement of the Troublemaker, Tom had an efficiency,
You can discard
got out a
that.
disruptive Troublemaker, and just kept farming. There's
this
not a whole
and
lot you could
this.
really do in that case. I would have kept that
3
open
cards
hand,
left.
and it just was a turn
Can
too
I
slow.
discard this?
Mm-hmm.
And for those thinking about that wrinkle of time in Tom's
Discard
hand,
this.
there's another line of text on Granny
this,
Smith.
Yes.
And we can.
And it is the reason that
discard
you don't
this.
see decks running Granny Smith feel like they need to run a
Okay.
tremendous amount of protection.
My turn.
Yeah, it's why I took the vote out in this particular list, because
Gain
Tom's
4,
forms of
draw a
interaction are
card
all
for
during
turn.
the face-off or on his turn.
We'll go ahead and challenge Chrono Trigger here.
Yeah, there's no reality where you don't challenge Chrono Trigger here.
Yeah. I did find it interesting to note that
Okay,
your
that's
lunch
good to
breaks
know.
were stacked on top of each other, all at the
Yeah,
bottom of your deck.
3 lunch
I'll
breaks
score
in a
proof.
row.
Okay.
So now I know where that last lunch break is.
Okay,
And
we're gonna
it doesn't matter because I'm
we're
going
gonna
to
start with paying
wind
2
up exhausting
for
my
Flim
main
Flam
first.
into blue.
But yeah,
That will
this
reduce
is
the
why
cost
we
of
don't
my
like
next event
Glimmer.
by 1.
We haven't gotten there yet, but the writing is on
Let's
the
go
wall.
ahead and exhaust.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
What
You've
do we
got
exhaust here?
1 Tranquility and discard, right? Just 1? Or is it
Just
2?
one. Just one.
Just 1. Just 1 and discard 1 banished,
We'll exhaust
which
Glimmer.
means
Go
that
up to 3.
there's a Tranquility that's going to be left in your deck, which you are
Um,
guaranteed to eventually flip through, assuming you're
then we
doing
will
Granny Smith
pay
with the rest of the
3,
points here,
1,
which
2,
means that your
3
absolute minimum flip is going to be 2.
for
There
lunch
is
break.
still a Flim and Flam, I believe.
1 additional turn.
Oh yes, if there is another Flim and
Exhaust
Flam, then
Glimmer.
that would do it.
Flim and Flam, Trixie, and Glimmer for an additional extra turn. on Trixie, exhaust Celestia. Yeah. You can't tell, but there is exactly one friend left in my deck, and it is that Flim and Flam. Flim and Flam.
Grab that, get it out of here.
Do I want to do? Yes, I do actually. Okay. We will, from here, proceed to score phase. Confront
Yep.
for 1.
Yep.
Exhaust Glimmer for an action token. We'll spend that action token to play Worn Out to move your main home. Yeah. And that's just a just in case kind of thing. You know,
Sure.
okay. If something goes wrong, I don't want the main at the problem. Extra turn. Oh, that puts a counter on my main too. Or not on my main. Or
Trixie.
not my main. Trixie.
It's
Hey.
rare to think of how something could,
I know.
but it could.
Right. Flim and Flam loses a counter down to 2, which
Still
is
enough for
totally
lunch
fine.
break. Yep.
Exactly. It's The still Spanish enough.
File can become the Spanish file now.
And now I don't know where the lunch break is, but chances are it's not the bottom part of the deck anymore. Okay.
How many AT generators are you sitting on now? 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus
4
the Trixie discount?
plus Trixie discount, right. Let's just start digging. Well, actually, so the reason I let's just start digging here is I know the lunch break is coming, and I want to play the lunch break immediately. You know, it's better to play lunch break this turn because that way I have a bunch of turns in a row where I have real AT, right? Not AT
Right.
that disappears at the end of the turn.
Which I believe
Right.
I have 2 now. Or
Let's see. Yes. So
One of those subtle things in the
Game
wording
2.
that makes all the difference
Draw
between
1 card.
these decks and the ones in Continentals
Okay.
really working or barely functioning. That first turn after the or
do I
the end
wanna
of that turn after the
copy
lunch
that?
break, yeah, you're gonna lose it. Every other turn you take for lunch break copies number 2, 3, 4, 5, etc.
Let's put a counter here.
Now you got it. You keep that.
No. Pay 1 to draw. Okay, this is great. Pay 1 for Twilight. Hand. Yeah, snap that one. Don't care about the other 2 nearly as much.
And is this just the I'm gonna thin the deck until there's only one card left that I'm gonna flip every time?
Not. It wasn't quite the plan so much as let's make sure not to go past 1 card. But you know, if you can do it and it works out, it's
1, 2,
convenient.
game
It makes
2.
shortcutting much easier.
Fair.
Pay 4 for lunch break. We now have 3 additional turns.
Counter
And
on
with
Trixie.
this, read the manual in hand. I've got tons of AT coming back potentially.
Okay.
From here we will end the turn.
All right. I did miss,
2
I
additional.
believe, your hand limit on this turn. But
Oh, yes. It would have been the
4,
spider surprise.
Draw a
Mhm.
card.
Sure. Seems very reasonable.
And okay, now's when we start doing things. Oh, Flim and Flam lose a power counter. Yeah, I'm actually wrong. This is not the turn where I start doing things.
Okay, if I play you, is that worth it?
One more turn of setup.
Yes. That's silly. 1, 2, 3. So I played the Glimmer with intent of copying the read the manual twice, as I have the unicorns for it. But then I realized I don't have the AT for it.
That's a little different.
Yes. You can't just play read the manual for free.
That's fine. We don't have to play it this.
Do you only have one discard or one discount right now?
Yes,
Yeah.
just one discount.
From Glimmer, yeah.
Yeah, we can always just.
And how many extra turns are you left at here?
The die in the middle shows I still have 2 extra
Time,
turns.
as they say.
Okay.
Exhaust all that. Gain 4. Yeah, next turn is when all the magic will happen. Yeah, score phase, confront for 1.
Yep.
1 additional turn.
That said, I believe there are only 2 cards left in the deck, so I kind of want to go off this turn.
Sure.
Not gained AT, looks like, so gain 4. Draw a card.
Yes, doing so past that point is going to be much worse.
Okay.
Looks like missed the discard that turn too.
Hmm.
3. Nope, we're not going to pay 3 yet.
Well, we are paying
Yes,
3,
we
just
are
not
gonna
for the
pay
thing
3.
I thought
We're
it
gonna pay
was.
3 for a different reason. Pay 3 for Glimmer. My next event costs 1 less. Pay 2 for Flim and Flam into white.
Another discount.
Another
My
discount.
next
Yep.
event now costs 2 less. 1 for read the manual, gain 5.
Exhaust all the things.
Exhaust.
Yeah, all of the things.
Well,
Exhaust.
all but one.
Exhaust to gain an additional 5. Let's see. Exhaust.
Technically, I should be exhausting
exhaust.
Glimmer first, but
Exhaust
it works out.
to gain an additional 5.
It's understood.
Yeah, and that's just all the AT in the universe.
Yeah, it's easy to see
3
why
for rarity.
why in the Continental Finals eventually at one point you were just like, it's enough. That's fine. We don't need
Yeah.
to sit here for 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Exhaust.
I thought about honestly just kind of speeding up this
Glimmer.
bit when I was editing.
If you had put some kind of Benny Hill music in here, it would have been amazing.
That would have been pretty fun,
Pay
yes.
2. And we'll start Granny Smithing.
And I will flip my
I'm
own
always gonna
card.
flip this betrayed.
I didn't know what it was. I just knew it was
Not
high.
a 0.
Yeah. Not a 0, not a 1. And Tom has no chaos, so it was deterministic.
Yeah. So yeah, as we said, that was kind of, I don't know if I would call that a perfect game from you, Bugle, but it was as good as it needed to be.
Yeah. Interestingly, I think if Tom had played Balloona, I would have lost that game because all my lunch breaks were so deep down.
Right.
Like I don't think I actually would have been faster than the Balloona list with that particular series of draws.
It also depends on what the start of the Bluna is like, right? So
yeah. There's of course no way of knowing, that that's going to happen. And I think Tom made the correct call overall. It just the way things panned out. This worked out well for me.
Yeah.
Rip Starlight, you will not be missed.
Yeah. I'm starting to have had enough of her. Yes. I say with well, you are playing that deck, right, Grandpa's?
What?
No,
he's not.
No. What do
Okay.
you take me for?
He is playing blue-purple, but he's playing blue-no-purple.
Oh, okay.
I build a deck, I release it to the meta, it gets tweaked over time, eventually I pass it off to someone else, they continue carrying it and roll with it and make some dramatic change, and then I get tired of it, and then we ban a card from it. This is how it goes.
Oh, I see. Okay. It's the circle of CCG life.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I play a deck once, and then you ban a card from it. I see how this goes.
Well, yeah, we can't have the illusion of favoritism here, right?
Right.
Right. I can't be the only one that gets to have cards banned. We have to let the broader community as a whole also have that happen.
But anyway, so we're moving on to core.
Yep.
And for me, things are going exactly as planned. And I am sitting here going, okay, last time Tom played Thorax and got completely wrecked. As far as I am aware, the only shutout in the entire tournament so far.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that this makes him swap to Grogar, because I feel that my matchup, as good as it is against Thorax, it's even better against Grogar. And the reason there being, Grogar does not have a way of interacting with my
I'm just got
Twilight and
the
Spike.
Grogar deck up right now if you want to.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, my Twilight and Spikes, which basically just shut this deck down.
Mm-hmm. It is admittedly a bit unusual to see blue-orange, which is a color combination that does not have, admittedly, fantastic ways of interaction, choose to run literally none. Even in a movement-oriented deck, you've got options for things like Pony Pirate, Rainbow Dash Pony Pirate, that is, who also has synergies, secret synergies with First Mate Mullet that nobody remembers. But to issue that and to issue things like Melted Expectations or Sepakli or Stop Fighting or, anything that could possibly be in here that could have some measure and say, I'm just going to go fast, is a bold statement because, while Orange-Blue is good, it is not a burst deck necessarily. It has ramp-up time. Its whole point is being built up through winning face-offs with Smolder, and Smolder getting bigger, and using Donut Joe, and exhausting all your cards, and gaining Diligent triggers, and all of that. Like, that. This is a deck that will start off more slowly than other aggressive aggro decks will, and will grow to a more efficient power level. It's kind of like Reanimator, when Reanimator lost cadence and had to start playing more aggro-oriented stuff before it switched over to show and tell. Your early game was slow, and then you eventually got your threats out that were so big and so efficient to DFO that you could race even, very, very aggressive lists.
Yeah.
Pretty good way of thinking about it.
So anyway, all that to say, very surprised to see the risky move of running no interaction.
Yeah. Also surprising, in Tom's sideboard here, he took out Storm King, which is one of his best answers for Twilight and Spike. As I can't move them away from Storm King without Tom's permission, which Tom is going to go, I think I'll not pay 2 to not move my character home.
It's possible that particular wording of Storm King may have eluded him, as it is not the most apparent thing. It's easy to see how one might interpret that as you read it at a glance and think, okay, well, it merely makes the opponent's forced movement more expensive. They have to pay an extra 2. No. Card's owner, or controller, rather, pays 2.
Yeah. Other than that, this is a very straightforward deck, though, right? It's all go fast. It's got Beat the Rush to go fast. It's got Donut Joe to go fast. First Mate Mullet to go fast. I believe other First Mate Mullet to go fast.
Yep.
The because it's not running any interaction, its game plan is just, I'm going to go fast and hope that you can't stop me. Possibly drop some troublemakers to slow you down a little bit.
Right. Well, I mean, farm them basically as soon as possible anyway, yes.
Well, troublemakers are versatile. Sometimes you farm them, sometimes you let them sit there.
Yeah, that's fair. So, over on your side... Oops, no, not that one. This one. You mentioned Twilight and Spike. Huge linchpin keycard.
Yes.
You also have a significant amount of removal.
Yep, Sun Closure and Spider Surprise are both pretty good here. Sun Closure can hit his troublemakers or his friends, and with the number of face-offs that would happen in his particular deck, Spider Surprise is basically hard removal. And of course, School Shutdown in case things go as poorly as possible. I did have to side out the Garbles here because his flip average is erratic enough that you don't want to risk giving him the AT.
Mhm.
And because I know he has shield, I have to have the Big Macs, and usually you run Big Mac or Garble. You don't typically have room for the both.
Sure.
And Citywide Shield could potentially stop some Pony Shadows nonsense, but it's not really worth a deck slot just for that. You try to just not let them farm the Pony Shadows in the first place.
Mhm.
But yeah, my game plan is to just get a Twilight and Spike as early as possible and then make it incredibly difficult, if not impossible, for him to win the game.
Simple enough.
Let's see what happens.
And yet complications sometimes happen.
Spoilers.
I mean, that's a universal law of...
All right, I'm ready.
Yeah, not when it's said in that tone at that point in time.
Yeah.
I guess I have to begin. Ah, yes, good point.
So this hand is meh.
It's all right.
It's playable. Like if I got this on my second draw,
Interesting.
I would be okay. But I
Yeah,
really want that
yes.
Twilight and Spike, so I ship it back.
There's something to be said for being able to have the luster and the daring do in the opening hand and a quibble as well. Like it's okay.
This hand is garbage.
This hand has coriander cumin. How can it possibly be
Okay.
garbage? In fact, this hand has 3 coriander cumins. How can it possibly be garbage?
That's why it's garbage.
So,
If it
yeah,
only had like
classic
coriander
first turn
cumin
control
has
and
diminishing
PFS.
returns.
Okay. Gain 3.
So we go ahead. Since my hand is so full of discard, I do not find a Grogar or a Grubber here. I find a Grogar, which surprises Tom. He
I cut it out, but he did
Go ahead.
put his hand on the field, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't see it because I was so focused on what I was doing. But yeah, he just wasn't accustomed to the Grogar opening here.
I think you did that versus me as well.
Yeah. If you have a heavy discard hand, it's nice to have the AT acceleration. Because even if Grogar disappears immediately, you get 2 AT off of it. So it's like
Right.
you flipped your main for free. And in this particular case, he can't even score a point off of it because of my problem, which I forgot to do against you.
Gain 3. Draw a card.
He does, however, decide, let's put an epic there. Let's not let you just score
Yeah, you
or gain
already
AT
saw
every turn forever.
I did not actually. I was
Oh.
not looking.
Yeah. So
Okay.
with this hand, there's only one choice. It's that
Choose
speech.
Makes sense.
And then, because this is my only entry, I go ahead and play Coriander, naming the Big Mac so that he can't deny me off of blue.
Right. Your deck has a a fair amount of resource-based
Of course.
color entry. So
and we'll choose
that
Big
was
Mac.
kind of my plan as well when we were playing our match, was try to land the Big Mac early and just eat away at the speeches and the scepters.
Go ahead.
Well said.
And then this god, top decks Rush Makeover.
Rush main phase.
You have to uncover your Troublemaker.
Oh,
I
right.
don't think there's a better card he could have drawn here. Except maybe Rush Makeover. You know, because in case I get rid of the Joe.
All right, then.
I was gonna say, still
Rush
kind of an
Makeover
awkward
here.
position
That's
for
a good
him,
draw.
Donut
given that is
Joe.
the only
Okay.
multicolor friend he has in his hand.
Yeah, and then he plays a Troublemaker.
Thinking. So I already paid 180. So
I don't remember it taking him this long to play this Troublemaker.
He's debating between the two of them, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, in my head, there's no way that's Grogar. It's
and attempt to
obviously Pony of
confront.
Shadows because he wants to
you'll fail.
farm a Pony of Shadows with Grogar and Joe
Right.
to
And your turn.
you know, be able to beat up the other Pony of Shadows, you know, possibly hit a Garble, whatever, you know. So draw a card.
Yeah, I'm also a little confused about that.
So I am going, okay, that is 100% Grogar. Let's think about this for a bit. Yes, this is Grogar. Play Coriander Cumin, name Grogar.
Sure.
or sorry, you know that had to be Pony of Shadows, rather.
We'll name Grogar.
And he doesn't reveal a Grogar, and I go, oh, that's
No.
bad.
Yeah,
Called incorrectly.
you've just had two of your corianders frightened.
Right.
Not exactly ideal.
Now, see, what I could have done is I could have just paid 2 to banish a card from hand, you know. But it just didn't occur to me that this could possibly be Grogar in play
Go
here.
ahead.
Pony of Shadows.
Turn.
No,
Okay.
Grogar in
Yeah.
play.
Oh, Grogar and play. That's right. Yes.
Then ready.
Yeah, and then he moves Joe up here, so
Wrong.
I'm even more
Troublemaker.
confused as to what's going on because
And yours is gone.
I believe he just
And
Thundercrossed
yours is
himself
scared too.
after
Yeah.
already Thundercrossing me.
Damn it.
That's why I thought you played the Pony of Shadows.
Yeah, that's very unusual. I
Well, yeah.
I don't understand that.
Anyway, let's.
Maybe he meant to do it in the timing window after that, or
No, because then he wouldn't have the power. I think he just didn't think it through. And but it worked out for him, right?
Yeah.
Aside from frightening his own friend.
sure.
I can vouch for the fact that people sometimes do that.
Yeah. You think 6 moves ahead, and then you take a move that to further that 6th move, forgetting that it invalidates your 2nd move.
Mm-hmm.
Something calculated risk, bad at math.
Attempt to confront.
You know, maybe it was all your focus on the fact that you were so sure
fine
that
by me.
Troublemaker was Pony of Shadows
Your
that
turn.
even after he revealed his hand, you had somehow convinced him that Troublemaker was Pony of Shadows.
You got it. That must be it.
Pay 1 for Tranquility. We'll just.
This would be an
both.
interesting question for you.
Obviously discuss this.
You know, this is a deck that
Yep.
I guess
front.
in here it makes a lot more sense and it's a lot
Alright.
easier to justify than it might be in some other lists. But I was going to say,
Disappoint.
Tranquility is a card that increases deck consistency and is
Anyway,
potentially a value
first
generator later
problem.
game. But Troublemaker control decks often like to try to keep their flip average in consideration, if not
Alright,
build
let's
entirely around it.
go
Is it
here.
worth the lowered flip average? But you have so many 2-power friends in this deck because you're relying on your friends' abilities as control versus just a high flip average. So
Alright, ready?
Yeah,
80.
so that face-off, I did wind up losing the face-off, which
My
was
computer's
a
bit
bummer.
slow.
But a risk I was willing to take because I didn't. I
What?
assumed this Troublemaker was also Pony of Shadows,
Troublemaker
and it wasn't.
and challenge Pony of Shadows.
You know, I was just trying to deny him the Pony of Shadows, and
Alright, I lose.
he was bound and determined to not play that Pony of Shadows from his hand.
sure was. I mean, if he's not going to be in a position to challenge there, setting up a nightmare to stop you from building up resources maybe is okay, especially since you were admittedly somewhat color restricted at the time by time, if not by actual cards.
Mm-hmm. Now Garble comes down.
Double and your turn.
Gain 3.
Something tells me it's not going to be sticking around terribly long.
Draw a card.
And at least the double coriander means you've got your unity.
Here. Pay 2. Will frighten Garble and Joe. Yeah, so we go for the double frighten here to tempo him, because I would have had to have discarded a card. So, go ahead.
Okay.
This more or less
see.
stops him from challenging the Pony of Shadows, regardless.
Well then, no challenge. That's interesting.
Meanwhile, have you noticed Twilight and Spike have not shown up to the party yet? Because I have, and I'm not happy about that.
Yeah, but you're not that deep in your deck yet.
Oh, none of you can.
You've gone through a couple of events. You've done a
Yeah,
little
let's
bit of
just raise the
filtering.
bars.
You've had your tranquility played
Okay.
once. It is completely reasonable.
Gain 3. Yeah.
Frustrating.
Yeah, it's frustrating, but yeah.
But it's not like
Closure is an interesting choice here. And you might think I would use this well, and I don't. I get in my own head here, and I forget about the movement event in Tom's hand. So I just use this to get rid of the Pony of Shadows.
forgetting that the Nightmare Moon is still there and the Beat the Rush can give him.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Move donut, Joe. See how long it stays there. So, ready. AT. Draw. Troublemaker.
And also, if I was going
face.
to do that, I should have done it without discarding the Troublemaker, because I could have just done it on my turn.
Shadows on the bottom of your deck. Fair. But again, it's Invitationals. It's a stressful environment.
Yeah.
There's tilting situations that can occur. So
Saw me right there. I had to remind myself that card does say Troublemaker.
Then it's
It does.
'Cause
Yeah.
I was expecting the Garble play. Yeah, expecting you to play it on Garble too.
Yeah, playing it on Garble was a much safer course of action. I just really didn't want that Pony of Shadows in play. But I had completely forgotten about this Beat the Rush, which is just really bad for me. Because, I was also thinking, I'll uncover Grogar and scare things and tempo him again. And instead, I just get wrecked.
And Grogar.
I mean, it's not like you had any knowledge of what was in his hand.
Yeah, definitely didn't.
Okay. So how much do I have? 9, 11. You have
I have 10.
10. So what could you have? No,
I
you're
am passing. Or
yeah, it's fine. I play
Sure.
on a bet.
That's fine.
Wait, do I have? Yeah, I have.
You have the blue this time, yes.
That gives me 3 points, and this. Oh wait, Gabel trigger.
Yes, you also have a garble trigger.
So I should gain 4 points total.
Yep.
That's some good value.
Yeah.
Have you discarded? Yeah, I think you
Yes.
have. All right. So now I can confront this. Well then. Ah, you have a troublemaker there. That's interesting. Alright. So
I'm just thinking through.
Yeah. The other thing that I haven't gotten yet is an AT generator. So my opponent is very easily able to outvalue me at the moment.
You had one in your opening hand and you threw it away.
I
and
did.
your turn.
Yeah. I was looking for
Gain 4, draw.
for Twilight and Spike, and I'm like, this hand is only okay. I want a good hand, and then I got a bad hand.
Yes, you did.
Uncover
Yeah, I think I haven't scored that point actually. Thanks.
has
to
not.
the-
Yeah. So draw another sudden closure here.
I mean,
Yes, I mean-
now you'll get the opportunity to use that on Garble if you want.
Yeah. Yeah. I thinking I don't want to make the same mistake here. But I'm also
Fair
not
enough.
building my board.
Right, and that is a deck that absolutely does need to build its board. You cannot just rely on your events alone, as there are a finite number of immediate speed interactions that are going to get you out of the situation. You need to be finding consistent, repeatable effects that will allow you to either build value or take it from the opponent.
Right.
There are types of control that will just rely on, I'm going to hold all my tricks,
put
and
Garble
other
on
than
the
some
bottom
AT
here.
generators, you will have no idea of what I'm capable of doing. This is not one of them.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I have actually like the only friend I've seen so far is Coriander Cumin, who is, as stated, a very good friend. But
Troublemaker.
I need more variety. Sure. And here I just have to hope that he loses the face-off.
And I think I win this.
You did.
Bonus
And didn't
two.
happen.
Yeah.
And now, having not built up a board,
So let's see.
being at a 9-point deficit,
All right.
this is tough.
This is very tough, yeah.
Oh,
And then he plays another troublemaker, which I'm like, oh, well, that's got to be Pony of Shadows.
first mate mullet.
You would think so.
Attempt to confront mystery.
Sure.
By this point in time, you'd
Use the
almost be
ability of
certain,
first
even.
mate mullet.
Yeah.
First mate mullet gets a counter for Donut Joe's ability. Attempt to confront cool mares don't look at explosives.
Go for it.
And double face off.
You win.
With bonus 1 and mystery. Wait,
Yeah, so my
yeah,
opponent's
first
at
goes to the
14,
bottom, then mystery.
and I have no board, and I have a board wife, but like
14's the wrong number.
yeah,
For a board wipe, yeah.
it's a bit risky when you have no follow-up and you're getting rid of your entry.
Let's go with
Right. 13? Maybe.
Loyal
Maybe
Pony.
13.
Sure.
Maybe something doable there. 14?
Yeah. Plus, I know he can confront because he got back got this loyal pony.
And your turn.
Right.
Gain 5, draw a card.
So now you would need a board wipe plus a method. Hey,
Hey, look,
it's
that card.
It's Twine
yeah.
Spike.
Just in time.
We'll choose loyal pony.
Thanks. Thanks,
No,
Twine
we
Spike.
will choose Pony of Shadows.
The reason I backed out and chose Pony of
Finally
Shadows
draw
there is because I
this.
really need there to not be an epic here.
Go ahead.
Wait. End of turn. Yeah, right. So
Makes sense. You need to have a problem
I
open.
mean, you have
Yeah.
this.
That is an alternative solution. If like there is almost no better solution or problem in the deck for catching up.
I would in fact say there is no better solution. Alternative solution is the best solution.
Guess I go to your problem. Yeah.
Okay.
So rotation value 3. Then ready. A T. Draw.
So
Troublemaker phase. Do you want to?
that's a fantastic draw for him as well.
Damn.
Yeah,
I keep
Smolder
forgetting
is
about
very
stuff
good here.
today. Anyway, challenge Guava unless you have something before I can challenge.
Let's see. Nope.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So I should get priority first.
Correct.
So can it move?
All right, so you're at
itself?
12 versus his.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Did he flip the Pony of Shadows?
He flipped the thing in the back there, the makeover.
With
So
priority.
Oh, okay.
I'll pay now. I will move First Mate Mullet back and Coriander up. Yeah.
And so still doing. Well, it doesn't really matter if I move it now or move it later. So yeah, I guess I lose the face off.
Okay.
And then it's
And
face.
for the briefest of moments, I have hope that I can maybe swing this around.
And now you've got troublemakers set up. You're able to confront behind one at double efficiency. You've got Twy and Spike in play.
It'd be a long uphill climb, but there is a valid path
Yeah.
open.
Yeah, and I can Spider Surprise the First Mate Mullet, right? Or the Joe, whichever is the bigger problem at the time. But he puts just too much power at this problem with the Smolder and the Loyal Pony. Joe being able to move and First Mate Bullet being able to move up there. It's just I need to draw removal here, and I don't. I draw an AT gen. Pay to draw. And go one further, and still not there.
Now, given that he has no cards in hand, he's played the Loyal Pony, he's played everything else out. Was there a reason you did not opt to just play the school shutdown and hope?
Well, I haven't yet, so
it's definitely an option. Like maybe that was the better call.
Better chance of beating Grogar than it does against beating Thorax.
I mean, the big reason you didn't play school shutdown the previous turn is because you knew he had a method of being able to confront, regardless of what you did. Now you were both in top deck mode, admittedly, and being in top deck mode against I mean, it's sitting here, hindsight 2020, all that, but
yeah, I think. Because I would have had the AT. I would have had the AT to play one of those troublemakers as well.
Correct. So if we're sitting here saying play to your outs, that's your out.
Yeah. I think that would have been the smarter course of action. But, got in my head and like, well, I need to draw removal, so let's try and draw removal.
Sure.
Fair enough. So, no matter how this goes, Tom has done better than he did before.
Yeah. Yep. We get to go to game 3, which was not according to my calculations, and I'm hoping we go to core.
Well, you got your hope.
Yes.
We do go to core. Admittedly, Tom now gets a chance to play his Thorax deck against not control.
Yes. And I think that this deck also does very well against Thorax, personally.
Fair enough. Hey, we have had precious few opportunities to talk about this deck, so let's talk about this deck.
Yeah, I played this round 1 against Pancake, and then haven't played it again since. But this is Student 6 aggro? What? This is actually somewhat inspired by M doing the same thing, I want to say 2 years ago.
Yeah, he had something like this in.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I think it was the 2021 Invitationals.
Yeah, he was a lot heavier on blue than I was. I ultimately just splashed blue for some pretty powerful blue-yellow cards. Philly Racers and Shoeshine, very efficient.
Now, I am gonna sit here and judge you incredibly harshly for running both Treehouse of Harmony and a single copy of Bloodstone Scepter when your only blue friends have, well, 3 of them have 1 rec, fine, understandable, and the other 3 have 3.
Student 6 doesn't care.
Student 6 does not care. Why is Bloodstone Scepter in here? Get that out of there.
Bloodstone Scepter is in there for a potentially cheaper flip.
Fine. That is the only acceptable answer because it's not in there for shoe shine.
No, it's not.
And it actively hurts your ability to do other things. So fine. You can have it in there because your main is Student 6 and that's it.
Yep, because my main is Student 6.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, the name of the game here is efficiency. This list is got a lot of efficient plays. Party Mare gets big, ghost problems. Student 6 is effectively an AT generator, a 2 times AT generator against an aggro deck like Tom. Philly Racers gives you power and AT. It's just everywhere you look. It's just efficiency, basically.
Treehouse is a particular standout against Thorax
Yes,
decks.
Treehouse is very good against Thorax. It's like, oh, that birds of a feather you got out there, that's cute.
It is and it isn't, right? That's the tricky thing about Thorax.
Thorax is still getting all the power. But if
well, that's not what I meant. What I meant is monothorax traditionally is going to have some of the largest quantity of resource removal that exists in the game,
Right.
and Treehouse of Harmony is one of the most expensive resources you can play.
Yep, sure.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
So that being said, because Treehouse of Harmony is going to almost always be entering play during your turn and 100% of the time in this deck, you're going to at least be able to wipe the tokens, provided your opponent does not have a Raccoon Rampage.
Which Tom does not have.
Right. So, it's a fine inclusion. And you'd run it regardless. Like, if you're playing pink-yellow and you're going up against Thorax, of course you're going to run it.
Yeah, because what if they don't have the resource removal?
Right, exactly. But you have to hope.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in Thorax's camp,
not much has changed.
Yeah.
Thorax is still Thorax.
Yeah, I think Tom has a couple differences in here. If I remember correctly, he is still running the horsing around,
but he's running Friends Are Always There instead of Raccoon Rampage.
Yes, he is. And he's running 1 copy of Professor of Kindness and 1 fewer copies of Featherweight, I believe.
And he's not running Alternative Solution. I don't remember what swapped for that.
Alternative Solution?
Or not Alternative. Focused Attention.
Yeah. There are no Focused Attentions in here. The rest of this, he's got the full set of snack stands. He still has the Spooky Ruins in here. I think some of the other lists... No, the other list still had that too.
Yeah. Spooky's standard.
I don't know what else dropped. Anyway. Yeah, minor variations. I do agree with his choice to run Unsparkling Cider, and I'm not honestly sure why the other Thorax decks hadn't picked that up, as it is just strictly better for you than Pearl Heist in every conceivable way.
I don't think they were running Pearl Heist.
I think some of the lists were they not?
I don't know. Are you running Pearl Heist?
I thought I had 1. Maybe I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I have a copy of Pearl Heist in there.
Okay, well, then I don't know.
Because that's just wrong.
Yeah.
And Cheese has a copy of Pearl Heist. Yeah, Pearl Heist is absolutely objectively correct over,
Sparkling Cider.
Cider. Yes,
Yeah.
Unsparkling Cider is absolutely objectively correct over Pearl Heist.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the Thorax is going to do Thorax things, and it's up to me to try to out-efficient the efficiency monster here, because Thorax is really efficient right now, turns out.
Yeah, there are certainly draws, scenarios where he just gets there.
Yeah. It does surprise me, though, that he took out Fluttershy Kindness, two Fluttershy Kindness Convenes, because that is point acceleration and a way to recover from friends being dismissed, which, being a pink deck, I have a small number of ways to do that. Cough, cough, belly flop, Treehouse of Friendship,
Yeah,
and Pinkie Pie.
maybe
I
not
would
that
also be
small.
curious. Steal with Minuet, retire with Shoeshine. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
quite a bit of removal in here. I am also curious to find that out as well. So maybe we can get Tom to add some commentary in Discord when he gets back.
All right, but regardless, one game, winner goes to the grand finals, loser goes home, or stays there, but is somewhat sad. Shall we?
Yep. No? Okay.
Nah.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm starting it.
Alright, not sure about the 5th card, but pretty sure about the first 4 cards I took out.
Basically, you kind of mulligan for Plurite if you just for the cheaper flip.
Yeah.
But on the play against an aggro deck, frequently it is turn 1 bank, turn 2 flip.
Yeah. I will point out, I'm sure Tom is over here with the saucer eyes because he's looking at the god hand the cheese pulled on him in his last match.
Right. Yeah, well, that didn't work out for him now, did it?
Admittedly, yes.
Angel friends.
And of course, it's not a concerning cutie mark on the other side.
No, it's not a concerning game. No.
So if you
Maybe a
flip
god
them,
hand in the
you
Thorax v
I've
Thorax
already
match,
said I
but
mulligan.
I
okay.
do
I
not
keep my
particularly
hands.
like that.
Okay.
Like that hand starting for
I'll choose
Thorax.
pink.
You've
Yeah.
got almost no
Alright.
value generation. Your gummies
Okay. I
are
will pass the turn.
at this point in the game kind of card disadvantage, and you're not playing against it.
Well?
I don't know. I would much rather see a friend
two
like
to
a
move
Featherweight
Thorax,
or a Yona
put 2
or
gummies into play,
Triorn
attempt to
Bunyip or
confront.
Go for
adoption options or almost anything else.
Thorax flips.
Maybe personal choice.
Now he's hovering over the thing and going, oh wait, it
And
doesn't actually work here.
Then it's your turn.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Thank you.
Defend the Hive, again, had the problems been different, sure, absolutely.
Pay 4
right?
and boost. Go ahead.
Okay. 80.
Yeah.
Do what?
Yeah, that.
Alright, let's
Okay, now the hand is fine.
Alright. Attempt to confront concerning cutie mark.
Sure.
Move Thorax. Attempt to confront mystery.
And I'm totally fine with this. Like,
And double.
low value
Chaos,
problems.
you may
I
put
wasn't
it into play.
going
Well,
to
guess
confront
I do
any of
put it
these
into
anyway.
Bonus 1, and everyone goes
And
home and misses
Defend the Hive is a
once.
very high value card for Tom.
Yeah, that's probably reasonable advice just in general, too. Unless you're in the situation where you're going to be able to deny an opposing main flip or something. Yeah, probably should save those for the higher bonus point problems later.
Yeah. Defend the Hive,
Yeah, your turn.
for Thorax players out there who may be watching, is perhaps one of the strongest cards that deck has, especially in conjunction with that main, barring, obviously, adoption options
for
and the
party
thing
mate.
that it finds.
For party.
Don't use it
One
lightly.
counter.
As a key
For
Defend the Hive turn
Shoeshine.
for ultra efficiency can be the difference between
Go ahead.
that one extra turn that you needed to win or lose.
Yeah. So that's a whole bunch of traveling one power friends I just put into play.
What?
And I drew a treehouse that turn. I was pretty happy with that turn.
Well, alright, let's see.
Especially with Brian already in play. Right, Now, To be fair,
to
Brian
confront.
can save one of those gummies,
Pass.
but
Okay.
that's not the greatest value.
Sorry, I got a counter.
The real frustrating part is if there's a Brian to protect another Brian.
Yes. At that
Then you're
point,
sad.
We'll roll for both.
at that
party
point, you maybe don't play the treehouse.
maps. Even is your problem. Odd is mine. Might as well do them both at the
Yeah.
same time.
This game, just a fair warning, my fatigue is going to show through.
Both go over here.
I would say odd is this one and even is this one, and then roll dice and move them
Draw
to the
cards for
wrong
turn.
one, kind of thing. Just bear with me.
Yeah, no worries. I did my best to make you look smart.
Okay.
For now, though, the partying has begun.
Yeah, drawing Philly racers after already having the shoe shine and play. I'm pretty happy with that.
I think we want them here. Let's see. If I put them here.
And
the aggro maths.
yeah, I'm all at this point. I'm also going,
No, here's
trying to figure out how can I get this treehouse into play, right? Because I know how powerful it is against Thorax, and
sauce my main
it's just a lot of potential value.
for a bunyip.
Now you might ask, why did I exhaust my main there, not Philly racers? And the answer is, I have a hasty friend in play.
Score phase.
What if I want to play that next turn?
Yep.
Or on Tom's turn.
Frighten, confront again. Go ahead.
Okay. What? Interesting. So.
Plus, it's frequently just good with this deck to spend all your counters,
Yeah.
since everything's so cheap.
Sure. When the average cost in your deck is probably
Attempt to confront for up
close
to 3
to
points.
2, if not
I'm going
slightly
to toss
below.
Tracer
Yeah.
Flare.
Okay.
And then we're going to.
I think it is 2. I have.
Pay 2.
No, it is slightly below 2. Yes.
Fluttershy kindness can be.
Because the only 3 cost friends I have are the 2 that you can see,
Alright.
and there's more than 2 1 cost friends.
But yeah, it's going to be the difference
Then
between
it's only 2
student 6
points.
providing
Thank
maximum
you.
value and student 6 providing incremental value, right? If you
Yeah.
have an option to be able to use student 6 to get a friend into play, you almost always are going to want to do so versus paying to move them or paying to do just about anything else, because you've built
I
the
will play
deck on the assumption that the value provided by student
Yeah, I'm
6
gonna
is
do it
what
now
will allow
before
you
you
to win
exhaust it.
against more
Bounce.
Right.
traditionally efficient
Yeah.
decks.
Philly Racers.
So if you're not reaching your maximum potential on that, then you're handicapping yourself.
And you.
So now Tom
Okay.
puts the Philly racers into
Ready.
my hand
Both parties.
now, just to prevent me from getting AT value. But I'm already
Odd
getting
is-
so much AT value
no, so
that
even with yours,
I
odd
don't really notice that I the slight disadvantage here, that I feel it would have been more prudent to have saved that for a potential DFO stopping here.
Hmm.
Nice.
somewhat convenient. Draw a card for turn.
So now those Philly racers are at 3,
Let's see
which is
here.
tied with my other 3s at the moment. So currently I am not in a position to DFO without doing something.
On the other side of the board,
Huge
meanwhile,
map.
Tom has
Sauce.
been keeping up the
Remove 2
pressure.
counters.
Yeah, Tom is
Philly
at 7
racers
points to my 2.
I mean, understandable. Thorax is going to get a strong start, and
For
the
Treehouse
tools that this
Friendship.
deck is going to rely on to out
Oh.
aggro effectively are going to take some time to get to. Student 6 gains more value over the course of the game, but
Well.
boy, it has a slow start compared to
Yep.
most other mains.
Turn 1 and turn 2 was do nothing, because I did not get a Slarite. But now if you'll do the math here, the party mares are at 4 apiece,
Let's see.
while
I have
Skystar and Pinky are at 5, thanks to the anthem from Philly
Both
Racers.
party mares are 4, so that should be fine. Attempt to confront both.
Oh. Right. Yeah, this works.
This treehouse does 2 things.
Score. Yeah.
Well, technically it does 3 things. Technically it does 4 things if one of those things is play to your home.
Shh. I suppose you got me there.
12. Yeah, you should win this.
Yeah, and I've just got so many anthems. It's like, do you really want me to total this? I'm pretty sure it's more. Get a free critter for winning the face-off.
Very important to remember with Shoeshine, often forgotten, often the difference between a win and a loss.
And it is an optional trigger, so no one has to remind you to do it.
Okay, well, we definitely retire the critter to move.
It doesn't say end of turn 3, but never mind.
I'm not at end of turn yet.
Yeah, I got it. I've already.
1, 2. Now I have a choice. Do I retire Pinky and Skystar, or do I retire the Bunyip in hopes to possibly score a point off of it? We will retire. And I ultimately decide the potential point is better than a 5-power friend at home doing nothing.
Sure.
Yeah,
So given that you've got enough other bodies that are likely to be moving by
Brian,
themselves,
Gummy,
you're not
and
for want of
I can
large
save
friends.
one gummy with
right.
Brian, right?
If you didn't have the other 2 party mares, I would
yes.
say,
But
yeah,
only
there's
one.
probably a little more weight
Correct.
to be given for that. So
Okay.
Yeah, so
Go ahead.
Tom does
What?
save one of the gummies here.
80. What?
I mean,
And
you
he-
might as well, right?
Yeah, and he
Yeah,
does
well,
have a friends are always there in hand. So
Banish your resource.
You delayed the
But sure.
For
not
dismiss, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see.
did delay the birds of a feather for a turn at least. So
Yeah, and I actually, well, no, I do have a good
Yes.
way to deal with it. I have the minuet in hand, so
Your turn.
yep. Okay, game ready. Whoop. So yeah, Tom not confronting there means I only get one counter to play with. But you know, I have a 1-power friend in hand, or 1-cost friend. That's
I
fine.
was gonna say, you still got the Bryans, yeah.
these party mares ride together.
Yeah, they know where the party's at.
We did.
Yeah, that was a case of me.
That's fine.
Just
Draw
3 is an even
completely
number.
blanking. Yeah, didn't you know?
Exhaust and pay 2 for minuet. I will discard 3.
So I'm going. I would like a different hand, please.
3, draw 6 cards.
Hey, look, it's a treehouse.
Okay, I'll move to score phase.
Yep.
What's better than 1 treehouse?
Front locked in here.
2 treehouse.
Yeah, but I do opt not to play the treehouse here because of it would mean I couldn't play the scary story in case Tom manages to get a good play here.
I should also gain a counter. Confront Cider.
Yep.
Plus, it wasn't really going to do too much against Tom's current board.
Sure.
Mhm.
Nuke 1 gummy, like whatever.
Yeah.
You can save it for a much better turn, like probably the one that's about to happen. Now,
Critter,
I'll
1, 2,
sit
3,
here and
4.
say that
That's the turn.
if we were just looking at the value provided by the mains at this point in time, it's relatively close to equal. You've gotten a few extra AT off of Student 6, but you've had to spend more AT to flip them. Thorax is efficient, but you've had the chance to wipe the board a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
The real secret to this deck is
Okay.
the cheap free movement through other sources.
Yes.
Getting 2 party
Attempt
mares
to
and a
confront
Shoeshine
your
down
finger with
early
me.
is completely absurd, and it doesn't
Sure.
matter what your main
Wait,
is. That's
what do I
just
have?
silly.
Yeah. Well, The reason it happened the turn it did was because it was
You have exactly
the main it
50.
is. But yes, like
I have
in a
10
hypothetical
power.
situation where you could do it with another main, yeah, who
Yeah,
cares, right?
Yeah,
That's
so
just
I should.
absurd value.
Yeah, I get 2
Yep.
points. All right.
So I let him confront there in hopes that he does this specific
Trigger.
play and go, okay,
Attempt
let's
to confront, swaying the sea ponies.
Little scary.
let's
starting
not let
class.
you score an extra
Your turn.
4 points
wait,
here.
Can I?
Yep.
No, I can't.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
huge
that's
swing, as we've seen out
Ready.
of Scary Story so often.
Gain 4.
Yeah, Scary Story
And
Swaying
it's like
1 and
impactful
2.
here.
Locked in here is 2.
Again,
And-
kind of one of
3
those
and
things
4.
with
Tough call is 5 and
defend,
6.
right? When you've got these tools, unsats, scary stories, defend the
Okay.
hypes, they're cheap. You're thinking,
goes
cool, I
here,
can save a couple AT by
1
doing
goes
this, or
here.
maybe I can deny 1 point for a confront. Really think about it. You have one shot to use
Draw
these,
cards
and
for
the
turn.
potential differential between the card being played at its peak and the card being played at just a common occurrence is dramatic.
Okay. If I win the face-off, I win the game. Well, if I win the face-off and confront all 3 problems.
Right, yes. I need
I
there are
think
6
that's
points on the board,
terribly
and I'm at
difficult to
9.
do here.
So it's just a matter of my opponent has no action tokens, has a lot of power, but I also have a lot of power, so I'm
We're gonna
not too worried about
start
that.
with a treehouse.
Right. At this point, you're just doing aggro math.
Yeah.
Always a terrifying thing to hear your opponent say. As long as I confront all 3 problems, which
It's also
shouldn't be that difficult.
3 counters.
Right.
For Minuet, we'll take Angel.
That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's enough.
That's exactly
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
This is enough on
Let's see
everything
how
right
I
now.
lose from here.
No, it's not enough on locked in
Uh,
here because need
plus
non-pink.
Brian.
And hey, that's a 2-power non-pink. Friend.
Right.
1, 2, 3.
You know, with
6.
3 house in play. So
Yeah.
3 AT
Go to
left
score face
and
here.
shoe shine, and don't need any of it.
Confront tough call.
Yep.
Confront locked in here.
You technically need to draw a card, but yes, you can also confront the other problems.
Well, it's a May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did actually
Confront
just
sway.
forget there was a draw, but in this
Wait.
situation, I didn't
Oh,
need the
right.
card.
3 problems
So
in play. I
Right.
see.
Game 3.
And that will do it.
I will do it.
Third
Yeah.
place. Nice. Yeah.
Well, congratulations, sir.
yep. My reward is I get to play you again.
Yes. And I kind of wanted to propose something, but I haven't yet figured out how to word it or how we'd actually balance it. But if
What,
you
you
have a
wanna
if you
roll
have a
random?
suggestion, well, I was going to say if you have a suggestion for how we can just skip the first 2 games, that would just be ideal.
Okay.
Frankly, I think that this match is a good example of why we have to play the games.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because of the Grogar game.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Fine. I'll do it once.
Maybe you only have to do it once.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I'm counting on only having to do it once.
See, this is what you start, Bugle, with that trash talk.
This is. There has been so much more trash talk, admittedly, like in jest in this
Yes.
community in the last like month than there has been in years prior. Everyone was walking on eggshells very carefully, and now we've got Brandon throwing out trash in advance of PVCF, and Bugle sitting here talking smack and almost having to eat his words, and now I'm just sitting
Yeah.
here blustering, and yeah.
I mean, I did have to eat some of my words. I didn't think it was possible for me to play against Tom in the lower bracket finals. I was so positive it was going to be
Cheese or pancake.
cheese
Yeah.
or pancake.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I was wrong. Tom pulled through.
Yeah, for a rookie, I will show up the bracket view. is going home in a cool third place. That's 6 invitational points, which is a very good chance of making it next year, based on the way things go. If Cheese and Grandpa's don't hoover up all the points again, who knows?
I did nothing of the sort. Thank you very much. I think I had BabsCon, and that was about it. That was significantly contributing because I couldn't even rely on Continentals. Maybe I won't have to judge Continentals.
I believe you had the second highest going into Continentals.
I did, but that's only because I got so far in Invitationals last year, and then also got BabsCon undefeated.
Well, no. Invitationals gave you 0 points, just an invite.
Oh, that's right. It was the auto invite.
Mhm.
Babs was a long event.
Yeah.
So, as I recall, we have both been in the finals seat before. This is my first time to grand finals. The only finals I had been to was the first year, which was single LM.
That's right.
This is my first time being on the upper bracket and not having had to do this stuff for the last month.
Do you appreciate your vacation?
Yeah.
More than you could possibly know. Not that I don't find playing pony cards fun. But
Right. No, it gets hectic when you're in the lower bracket. Yeah, for sure. For what it's worth, I appreciated the vacation of the gap week that Ciderfest gave quite a lot myself.
It was nice. It was nice. So very glad to have done that. But I am looking forward to getting this wrapped up in advance of the holidays.
Yeah.
Well, especially since we've got the 10-year anniversary coming up soon.
Very true. And there is some exciting stuff planned, which I'm sure Cursed will tell you all about based on the last minute announcement I made at the end of their stream this morning.
Oh, I missed that. I haven't had a chance to listen to that.
Right, Cursed?
Yeah. Turns out, Hithrock and I have become the lead designers on the game.
They didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
There you go. Have fun.
Prepare for Trixie.
Okay then.
So much Trixie. He's kidding.
Yeah. But I have it on good authority that there are big things coming.
Yes. Some of which we will be able to announce soon, and some of which you'll just have to wait and see for 2024. But that will be enjoyable. Yeah, and who knows? Maybe we'll be able to see what's on the horizon with Vancouver, which is the next convention coming up in less than 2 months now.
That's in January, yeah.
That is in January, yeah. And maybe we'll be able to have the community design a card, or maybe every convention will keep snubbing us and we'll have to keep postponing it and no one ever gets any more cards ever. Because we're stuck with prize wheel spin 3 1 card short.
Pancake has got a card at least.
In theory.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You're saying prize wheel 3 is held hostage until the community design a card happens?
I'm not even joking. That is exactly the situation we're in right now.
Okay.
Prize wheel 3 is otherwise like fine-ish. The card maybe more tweak, but still, the one big holdup is we still have to get this this printed plate. But that's neither here nor there. Right now we have the invitationals. So you want to get our match done right now?
Right now, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Just bringing this on Cursed at the end of the stream.
Cursed's like, bed. Finally, after 2 streams today. What?
I mean, legitimately, if you guys want to play right now, I could swing it, but I would rather not.
We can do it later. It's fine. Get some rest.
Yeah. So, I'm going to say thank you to everybody who's been in the chat tonight, and thank you to my 2 wonderful guest commentators.
Thank you.
Who are probably going to be back next week to talk about the match that they will have played at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you get someone else.
It's possible. Yeah.
Hithrock hasn't commentated
Hithrock
in a while.
hasn't. I should get Hithrock on. That's a good point. We'll see. In the meantime, you want to catch up on any of the other action from the Invitational this year, It is all over on YouTube, as where this stream will go later this week. But yeah, next week, December 2nd, will be the first of the grand final matches, possibly the only grand final match, depending on who wins.
Yeah, the first of one or two.
To be determined.
Personally, I would prefer two, but I think other people here might prefer one.
Get it done with. We know what the first two games are going to be like.
But on the other hand, if we do two, that will be right before the 10-year anniversary, as the following Wednesday is the 10-year.
Yeah, it'll be pretty nice synchronization.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's all for the stream tonight. You guys have anything you want to say before we leave?
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Preemptive happy 10 years to Pony Cards.
I second that.
And congratulations on your lead designer role.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be having some words with the boss about that one.
Isn't that you?
No, it's Hits Rock, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.